Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on the Powerhouse radio station are those of the host, guests, and callers, are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other hosts or advertisers. The show, found on the Powerhouse radio station, can promote any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or conditions. Opinions stated by various contributors to the Powerhouse Radio and its programming are not to be considered as endorsed by the Powerhouse Radio station. Visitors are urged to use their own discernment to draw their own conclusion. We emphasize the importance of keeping an open mind. You're in tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean.
Well, welcome to another edition of Reasoning Thursdays with yours truly, Lady D, Queen, Jai, the respect and Noni, the juice, Michelle, yes, Miss MC herself. Well, let me tell you, we have a fantabulous program as we do each and every week right here on the Powerhouse Radio. Also want to say big shouts to our sponsors, our all of our sponsors that are sponsoring the program. I want to say big shout as well to our brotherly stations, Victorious 89.1 FM. I want to say big shouts to you, Dr. J, and the crew. You Choose Radio, DJ VJ Smiles, Ross Dukel. I want to say massive shouts go out to you as well. Man, I'm telling you, I'm looking in the Reasoning Thursday panel chat, and there is so much stuff going on. I'm like, wow, it looks like we're going to be having a quite festive reasoning as we do each and every week anyway. So without further ado, let the panel go on and introduce themselves. I want to say big shouts once again to each and every one. We value your comments. We ask you to definitely interact with us. Big shouts to you, Don Minot. Don Minot says greetings, Lady T and the panel. So blessings
Greeting.
upon blessings to you as well, Don. Want to also take this time as well to say big shouts to each and every one that's listening to us via our website at www.dapowerhouseradio.com. I also want to say big shouts if you're listening via our telephone lines at 667-930-9036. If you're listening via the TuneIn app, want to say big shouts to you as well. Facebook, big shouts. Instagram, big shouts go out to you. Big shouts go out to the YouTubers. However, you're vibing with us, we just want to say welcome and thank you so much for vibing. Next week, we're going to have back on the cameras, hopefully. We're going to have the cameras on and showing our faces. We need to be doing a pajama party. I don't know what's going on with you folks, but we're gonna do a pajama. Y'all down? Maybe we do a pajama party next week. But nonetheless, let's let the other panels introduce themselves, and after they introduce themselves, then we'll run down some of the topics, the reasoning topics that we have. In line, Jai is up at the top. Then Noni the Juice, then Queen MC Michelle, and you know the man is on the telephone lines. The respected Jai.
Hello, hello.
Very simple and sweet. Hello. Jai, Noni the Juice.
Hey, this is yours truly, Noni the Juice. Just want to welcome everyone to another edition of Reasoning Thursdays. Thank everyone for listening in. However, you're listening on all the social media platforms, please like and share with others, friends, family. Good night to everybody. Welcome, welcome.
All right, we have Queen down at the bottom there.
Welcome, Don, and all our listeners. Thank you for tuning in another Thursday. Remember, share. Tell your friends, your family members, tell them run on over and listen and tune in, and remember to press that like button. Love you guys.
All right, and MC.
Hi, good evening, everyone. It's so wonderful to be here this evening with you, and I look forward to an enticing show tonight. Um, remember, like and subscribe as we've been hearing, and share. And thank you to everyone on the platform. Looking good to have a good time tonight.
All right.
Mhm.
And the one man with all these beautiful women, the
I
respect.
tell you, I tell you. Big up everybody. Big up and God bless you. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Well, we're gonna get into it. We have some reasoning topics. Central database. We're gonna touch that central database. That's we don't want to know your thoughts on that. And we also want to know your thoughts on um the verdict, or the sentencing for those individuals that hurt those black children. I'm gonna talk about that. We need to reason on fifth graders, fifth graders, and such violence. I want to touch that a little bit. And how can you zip ties elderly in a wheelchair? We're gonna touch that right there. And something that I think that should come back should have been there in the beginning. It shouldn't be coming back. But what's going on with our school and the writing for our children and sleeping cells in America? Hmm. What's going on with the National Baptist Convention Church? Yeah, we're just going to touch a snippet of that as well. And is $120 million enough for 50 years?
Hell no.
I want to know that. We want to reason on that. And it's being told that it's alleged that the Bill Gates is at it again. We're going to reason on that as well. So, and we're going to reason on Jamaica. Queen has some topic there from in regards to Jamaica. So we're going to be reasoning on that as well. Alrighty. So anyway, well, let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Being,
Numbers is 706-955-2001. With respect on the line, so we're going to see how that one
yeah,
works out. Go
being the
ahead,
only man on the
respect.
panel, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to start off my condolences to Ninja Man family and supporters and friends and the whole world who raped Ninja Man. I was very disappointed in his first picture they put up is in the jumpsuit, the prison jumpsuit.
Oh,
I, I'm going to put it out there first and say, whoever did that, they were wrong. That's not the way for to show the image of the man leaving this world in a jumpsuit, orange jumpsuit, in prison.
man, I mean,
So that was tasteless.
ah,
Yes, I'm sorry to hear of his
real,
passing.
real tasteless.
Yeah.
Real, real tasteless. Um, I'm just like, wait a minute. I'm processing what you're even saying in regards to Ninja Man.
Yeah.
I
It's,
didn't even know that Ninja Man passed away.
yeah.
Yeah, about 3 days ago.
Really?
I didn't know either.
Where was I? Where was I?
Yeah,
And I've been
I didn't
on
hear it either.
I've been on social media. I didn't see it.
I'm like, okay, I'm normally on top of these types of news. Um
I
and
sent it to the
and
team.
you see that I'm like really, 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 really speechless.
Yeah, he's gone. And he was about to be free, some people are saying. So They're thinking it's strange that if he was coming out for release, how all of a sudden he died from a heart attack.
I didn't see that either. I just see that he had music about to be released this month.
Yeah,
Ah,
there's a
Eh,
mix of people.
that's strange.
yeah. This is like what's going on?
I
I'm
more to
just
get the
like I'm really,
wow.
really,
That's something.
really, 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 really not processing that one.
It's a tough one. It's really a
I'm
tough
not
one.
I
processing that one. I
I
mean,
saw something with
No, I
Khalid
don't mean to
and
cut anybody off. But I just looked it up and it said he's not. That's
he's
not
not
true.
because I'm normally privy to
He's
these.
serving life. He's still in jail, but
I
he's
did
I'll
not
he's
get
he's
see.
it.
alive.
Yeah, on YouTube it was showing that he passed away. Then they said like six
Oh,
months
I see
ago.
it.
And then there's something else that's saying that there's rumors that he passed away. So it's
Yeah,
it's
there's not a lot of fake
It's not
news.
confirmed, I guess.
so it's conflicting.
Where did you get that news from, the respecter?
Internet and YouTube.
Because you know they
I don't
they
remember. I don't remember. It was like 3 or 4 different bloggers that had it on, and it was like back to back days. It was up, and there was
oh,
people saying in the street, talking about it in the street, saying it's a conspiracy, and he was about to release music and be freed and all that good stuff, and they said a heart attack. So just like he wasn't receiving it, a lot of people wasn't feeling it either, including myself.
oh.
I wasn't believing it at first, but I haven't seen nothing else that said he's just a rumor.
Yeah. So yeah, I saw about the heart attack. That's for YouTube, but online it's saying that
it's
he's
very
still alive. That he's still locked up.
I don't think that that's true because
Well, I hope he's still alive.
my
The
sources
major media outlets
have
didn't pick it up.
called me. My so trust and believe, especially when it comes to Ninja Man, I can't believe I didn't get any phone call
Mm.
pertaining to that one at all. That's that's just that's just unreal right now. That's
Yeah.
unreal. The
Mhm.
respect to I'm not gonna comment on it until I make some calls after the show. And as usual, if something like this is really, really true, then I'm always doing my tributes, which I honestly don't feel that I'm going to be doing any tribute
Mm-hmm.
this Saturday for Ninja Man. And
Yeah, we are going to believe that he's still alive. That's the plan. We hope he's still alive
yeah,
and that
yeah,
it was
yeah,
just rumors.
yeah, it is. It is.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's definitely a rumor.
I mean,
Well,
it's
Ninja
about
Man,
something like 50. Look how many
that
times
would have been that would have been publicized. Ninja Man, that would have been publicized.
I would have gotten a call already. When I asked somebody, I would have gotten a call already about Ninja Man. Okay, so if I did not get any
Oh,
phone call, just
and
like I got with Leroy, just like I got with Cookit, any of them old time artists, I would have gotten a call.
then
There's nothing that's so it's definitely fake news, the respecter.
and another thing too, we would have saw artists, um, like different artists putting up on social media
Yeah,
pictures with him and stuff like that too.
that's fake news. That's fake news. All right, that's fake news. Definitely fake news. All right, so let's go on and vibes. Let's go on and do our topics because that's definitely 100% fake
Yeah,
news.
you can see that threw us for a loop, right? Everybody was like
Yeah,
quiet, like
I was
stunned.
quiet for
We
a
were
bit,
stunned.
and I've texted about 3 people just now say how nobody don't call me and say nothing, and I'm waiting for some response. So hopefully I
Mhm.
get some response before the end of this
Oh my gosh,
program
we were
here.
stunned.
But Don is on the air as well. Don should be able to let us. Don says, okay, here he goes. Don says, I don't see it in the newspaper. Me either. Sharon says that's fake news. Sharon says that would be on the media all day, every day.
That's
Exactly.
what I'm saying.
Exactly. That is definite. I'm just seeing you all responses here. Don, I don't see it in the newspaper. Sharon said that's fake news. And Sharon says that will be on the media all day, every day. Trust and believe it will be.
Yeah, that for artists like that, it should
Yeah,
be.
yeah, yeah. No, that is definitely
Yep, I didn't see
For
the
them
100.
damn
debate.
bloggers, I need to start watching bloggers.
Yeah, you can't watch
And
bloggers. You have to go, you have to get
yeah, they
reputable, you have to get reputable stations. Not only
Yeah.
you have to call Lady D. You have to call me because you have to call me because I would have been able to just dispel that rumor right away if you had just called me and asked me. I would have been able to dispel that
well,
rumor.
like I said, I sent it to the reasoning team. So I thought somebody
No,
would have
I
picked
did
it up.
not see that whatsoever. In our chat, I did not see that. I did not see that. Anyway, let's bypass that. Let's bypass that and go into woo. That made me
I
like
know, right? We still feeling it. We
no
still
stop,
feeling
no
it.
stop,
Man.
no. Mm-mm. My phone would have been rigged off the hooksies. No
Hmm.
way, no way. But anyway, all right. Where we gonna dive into?
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Well, I can tell you, I also shared this information. You heard about in Disneyland Paris, where this 22-year-old British man was marrying a 9-year-old Ukrainian girl.
in Florida.
No, in Disneyland Paris.
Okay. Oh, it was in
Disneyland.
Paris.
Yeah, I
I
think it was
saw
in
it said
Paris.
Disneyland, so I
Me
was
too. I thought
thinking.
that
I
too,
saw
but I
it
think
said Disney, so I thought
yeah,
it was in Florida, and I was like, "What the heck?"
me too. But I think because they have Disney in Euro, so um, we could just double check to make sure. But it was at Disneyland, and her 41-year-old mother was there, and they invited all these guests, and they were married, and so Disneyland allowed it to be booked. But then when the staff saw how young the bride was, they alerted authorities. And when authorities came to find out, they said, "Oh, no, 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 this is something staged." But this person, the man, he rented out the whole park early in the morning before anyone could come. It's only the guests and everybody attended. That was it. It wasn't any other strangers beside the staff. And
Saw that.
what ended up happening when the authorities came, they said, "Oh, no, 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 this is something staged. We're just trying to boost up our social media or something, and that's about it. This is not real." And they end up being arrested. So the authorities did find that it wasn't real. It was hired actors as guests. And what they were arrested about, I think 4 to 5 people, and they did it because it is more of a money laundering scheme.
Okay.
So you want to launder his money. That's a good way to do it, to rent out a whole Disneyland park.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he's arrested, and I think 4 of them or 5 of them were arrested, including the mom, of course. And some of them were, I think 2 or 3 people were released. Yeah,
But
but
in some
crazy.
countries, children they do let children married young as 9 on up. I was watching this show, and like Lady always say, if it's not real, it goes somewhere. It goes somewhere like that. And I was watching the
If
movie,
it now goes
and
so it
seriously, it
on
was a 40-year-old sheik. He was a sheik, you know, in what's that, Dubai, and he married. It's like a dowry. He pays the parent X amount of money. It's like he's purchasing her, really, but they call it dowry, and he gives the dowry to the parent, And 9 year old, I think she was 9 year old. There was another one I was watching where she was 14. But they do in some of these countries, they these men have fetish for young girls, and they use marriage as a scapegoat to get what they want, and they are molesting these children and destroying these children for life. Um, they have them also in these Arabs that they have in Europe, where these young girls are there serving these older men, and they're very young. So a lot of that stuff goes on. It's not surprising.
Yeah, but you think about it, right? And if it was a fake wedding, so it's like it's fake, why couldn't he's 24, right? So why couldn't he chose someone who's 20 or 21 for this fake wedding? Like, why would, I guess because they want the publicity. Like, why would you choose someone 9 years, even someone who's 18, for example, who's of age? Why would you choose a baby, a 9-year old girl? You know? So that's disturbing.
Yeah, it's
Where is the
disturbing, and it's
father?
as well. It's as
Where's
well
the father of
something
that
that's.
9 year old?
They don't say. They only talk about the mom, 41-year
But
old
like
mother.
I said, they be selling them kids anyway, the parents, father and mother. The father more so because half of them be in debt. They gamble or they take loans out. From
Remember,
what
they're
I
from
was
Ukraine.
watching
They're
this
from Ukraine.
program, yeah, from watching this program, they take loans out and they're in debt, and some of them gambling, drinking, and they sell the children for money to support their habits, and that's so sad, but it goes on in certain parts in Europe. I wouldn't be surprised if it don't goes on here in the US too, and
Well,
all
it
these
does.
doggone kids
It does.
missing. Who
But it
knows?
does. But it does. There are 38 states that allows child marriage with certain exceptions. All right.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
only states that they're saying that does not allow child marriage with exceptions is Delaware, and this
Mm,
just happened in 2018. New Jersey in 2018, Pennsylvania 2020, Minnesota 2020, Rhode Island 2021, New York 2021, Massachusetts 2022, Vermont 2023, Connecticut 2023, Michigan 2023, Washington 2024, Virginia 2024. These are Washington and Virginia was just last year.
Let me
look
tell
at
you,
That they
you southern states are wild,
that
honey.
they
You better hold
banned.
on to
So
your little girls out there.
therefore there are all these other states in the 32 along with Georgia
That's what
that
I'm saying. You guys are
allow
wild.
children to be married
mm,
with certain exceptions.
I mean,
What
That is
are
but
the
we knew
this
that.
exceptions?
out
That's how R.
Midwest is
Kelly was able to
wild.
marry Aaliyah.
Say that again.
I said, but we knew that. That's how R. Kelly was married to Aaliyah. And if you really want to stamp something on it, it makes you wonder what they're doing with this 7 year old. Um, when after 7 year olds are not able to be dependents anymore. Of course, everybody's screaming work, but what else?
Yeah.
mhm.
And
Well,
California,
what
Mississippi, New Mexico, and Oklahoma, they have no age limit.
I'm surprised about
No minimum
California.
age for marriage. You see that? This is
what
this
Well,
is
well, you remember up in New Hampshire, they had this group of people. I forgot what they call them. But they wear long clothes and what have you, and ride on the cart and buggy. What
the
they call them again? I forgot.
Amish,
Are you
the
the
Amish,
Amish?
The
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 Amish,
Amish?
the Amish.
Amish.
They
It's
married
not.
young.
I feel like everybody. It's not the Amish. It's the FLDS, and that's that religious group that branched off from the Mormons, and they live
Hmm.
in Utah and Texas, in New Mexico, and like Lady D said, there's stipulations to it, but those states are even in California are a little bit more lenient, and that's how they have those polygamous marriages where they're marrying off little kids to these men, and saying, "Oh, it's." Because the prophet said so. Because remember, their
Hmm.
prophet was just arrested and is doing life in prison.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, Yeah.
It's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. So it's up to once again our Congress folks to put these laws, to demand that a lot of these laws change, and it's once again up to us who put these representatives and senators in these seats that must call in and make these demands that this is just not right for
Exactly.
the state that you're living in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Today,
All right. Yes, the respecter.
if I know of a man that does something like that, I promise you, I'm gonna bleed from the head.
Well, we'll come and visit you.
Woo.
How about that?
Woo.
We will come and visit you. How about that?
Uh,
I'll come
It is
visit you.
disgusting.
I'll
It's
come visit you.
disgusting. It's disgusting.
And I may,
That's why I have a lot of hate for men who have a child and the child is in and know the child in their own responsibility. I don't respect man like that. That you
Yeah.
can't be there for your child, especially your daughter.
Yeah.
it's a sickness.
It is a
It's a
sickness.
sickness. It's a
It is. It's a
sickness.
sickness.
It's a
Yeah.
sickness.
since we're on children, and
Yeah.
the and we just touching these real quick, and we moving on so we can hit hit. Not that these are not important, because these are very important. Um, but the couple who was found guilty of trafficking and abusing and doing all sorts of stuff to the adoptive children that they
Mhm.
have. They have been giving 375 years in
Mhm.
prison. So we want to say great to the judge for not being lenient on
Exactly.
them whatsoever in that case.
Exactly.
We
Thank
reasoned
you.
on that case.
I was just gonna say that.
January.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Mhm.
talked about it on. So we definitely want to give the
Just a quick refresher for those who didn't hear it. There was a Caucasian couple who had adopted a few children that were African or black. We're just gonna call it for what it is, and they were abusing them. They were making them work farms, locking them in buildings, beating them, and the neighbors were reporting it to CPS, and they finally got caught.
and you know what, with you going into even a little bit more detail with that, Mish, I would like to say what happened. What happens to the people that did not do their jobs? I mean, did they get? I mean, what is happening? And I have that question for about three different one of the quick topics that we're going to touch. Is what happens to the folks that don't do their job? They've been called upon over and over and over, but yet nothing has been done,
Mhm.
right? Until these children have faced the worst of worst abuse. So who is left accountable for that? That would be my question put out to the just to the universe, because I know that we best definitely ain't gonna answer that. That's for the law to answer. Another one of my questions leading to the same thing there, right there, is and this one is in Jamaica, the 50, a gentleman who was in jail for 50 years. 50 years. And he received $120 million for 50 years, 42 years. He wasn't even recognized in the system. So they compensate him with 120 million Jamaican dollars. How much is 120
That ain't
million
nothing.
Jamaican dollars? For
Mhm.
That ain't
50
nothing.
years. And
Mhm.
whom in this system is facing is going to face charges for what is going on, for what happened to this gentleman.
And let's be clear, this gentleman never went before a judge. So he
Never,
sat in jail for 50 years
never
and
went.
never saw a judge, had a hearing, was sentenced, nothing.
Nothing. Nothing. It's sad. It's sad. Who is being
So what
held
Yep. Just
accountable?
just want to tell you, they said 120 million Jamaican dollars is 750,193 US dollars.
That's nothing.
so does it say anything
Pe-
about his parents?
Say that again.
When he was arrested, they say anything about his parents? Because there was no one around to make sure he gets a lawyer.
This is Jamaica we talking about now, you know. We're not
You're
talking.
trying to remind him.
We're not talking about America. We're talking about things like this happen in Jamaica.
And your country.
All right. So I mean, like, it's madness. Whom is being held accountable for these for what is going on? That's what I want to know. No one.
Nobody.
Everybody is just walking away easy with what is going on. You know what I'm saying? That's madness. That's madness.
To think that man went in as a young man and came out he has gray hair.
Yeah.
50 years of his life, he went in a young boy or a
And then
young
you
man.
all giving 700,000 US dollars and feel like say that is
You did
something.
something. That's insulting.
That's insulting. That's more than insulting. More than insulting. You know what I'm saying? That's it's I don't even know how to touch that one. You know what I mean? So that's
You
right.
need to pull up some Charles Bronson movies and meditate on some Charles Bronson movies, you know. That's what he needs to do.
I think if the law was applied to law officials the same way it's applied to citizens, then people would actually do their job accurately. If
Yeah.
you're in the military and you do something, or you go AWOL, like they like to say, you can serve time for things like that. So all these CPS workers who aren't doing their due diligence because they have a workload that's too much to bear, you know what I mean? Granted, these instances, even with the kids, it brings awareness to even their workloads on probably why they can't keep up. But you also have a job to do,
Yeah.
and you're not doing your job, and someone's life was either taken, jeopardized in some way, or honestly, even if they're still here, they lost their life. They're a shell of themselves. 50 years and you didn't even see a judge?
You didn't
Mhm.
Whoever
even
was
see
a
a
part of that
judge.
needs to be prosecuted, because what were you doing? Not your
Where
job.
No,
all of the
no
prosecutors,
accountability.
the
No
prison,
accountability.
the warden, the correctional officers,
Correct.
all of
Yes,
them
all
are
of
to be
them.
held accountable for
Mm.
this atrocity that happened to this man. That's
Yeah.
madness. And you come and you know, it just burned me when they always feel like monetary compensation is enough.
Yeah.
No, man.
Look how
Hold
many
people
years.
accountable. You want to be a law
Mhm.
official, you need to uphold your end of the bargain. You don't get to waste nobody life like that and then walk away.
No,
Mhm.
You
no.
don't get to do that. That's not right.
Mhm.
Share the live, share the live.
It's like, oops, I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy.
Mhm.
It's madness.
And
Share
it
the
goes
live.
even deeper because there's somebody counting, like you said, the wardens. There's somebody counting these inmates. There's somebody keeping track of what's going on in these records. And you're telling me for 50 years, nobody who picked up those books said what's going on with this gentleman?
Okay.
All of
But
y'all need to go to jail. You need to
they
go
call
do
his
time.
name every day because they check them every day. They check in. So I mean, normally, they call in then, and normally it will say, "I go to court today," or So I don't know how they didn't see that. That's strange.
Yeah, yeah. It's madness. But yeah, that's my question to really like who is held accountable for these things. There was one more quick topic in regards to whom is being held accountable. I'm trying to see where did I write it at. Well, I'll find it. I'll find it. But anyone else wanted to comment on that? Noni the Juice, Michelle? No? Alrighty. Um, wheelchair. You
I
know,
agree with you guys. Sorry. I
oh,
was just I
that's
agree with you.
That's okay. The wheelchair bound individual, we just touching and going until we get to the longer reasoning topics. The wheelchair people, zip tied, they're at the Capitol protesting about their Medicaid cuts. Like, how much damage could they do in the wheelchair? They're riding in their wheel and they're zip tied to be brought to jail because they're protesting. Obviously, they're protesting. They're in wheelchairs. They need all of the Medicaid funding that they can receive. How can you zip tie persons in wheelchair to lock them up for protesting? I mean, like, what is this world coming to? Like, what is
But not just that.
That's
They have a
insane. That's
law. They
insane.
have a law telling you about abuse to senior. You zip locking some people, and not just senior, but also people who when cannot help themselves, right? So how can they do that and get away with it? Because there is a law against doing things of that nature.
yeah, Donna says that goes on right here in America. It is America. Yeah, or if you're talking about the prison, the yeah, there's so many individuals, Donna. If you're going back to what we were reasoning on with the being locked up for so many years, yeah, we even reasoned on it. But I think about 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, an individual that got released in California did 40 something years or 30 years and finally got released. There's so many here, right here in America. This is true. Yeah, she says I'm talking about the prison. Yes. Yeah, there's so many here that is going through the same thing and they feel that it's fine to monetarily compensate these folks. These folks, I think these persons should really say, listen, what can make me feel good? Yes, I deserve the money, but I also want people head. I want the judges' heads. I want the prosecutors' heads. I want people. Someone have to pay. Someone needs to, even if it's a week in jail. Somebody needs to go in jail and feel like how I felt. Your freedom, your life being taken away from you.
And
You know,
they're just like, oops.
oops. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy. That thing that just messed me up. You know. But let's go real quick. This is just a drop.
Enough is enough. Really, it is.
Enough is enough.
Enough is
It,
enough. This is
yeah,
getting ridiculous. People in a wheelchair, like, where are they running and going? They're in a wheelchair for a reason. You know, it's disgusting. It's like they're trying
It
to
is.
assert power and show themselves to be powerful, but actually look powerless, and ridiculous.
I guess they think it's a motor car.
I don't know what they think it is. I don't. I don't. They zip tie. Man, I'm telling you, this. If you don't, some of these things that is not fake news. If you don't see it, it's just hard to believe it. I mean, it's just
I
hard
agree.
to
It really
imagine
is.
looking at it. But this one is a drop in. Cursive, they're now requiring, well, Trump is 47 has now put in for cursive to be implemented back into the school. Now, why would you
Oh,
take out writing in cursive in the first place out of school?
so why is he still in education business? Leave it to the, I
But
mean, the
no, no,
both
no.
of
But
them.
I'm going to definitely say it's a good call. Why are you taking out curses? How these children is supposed to learn to sign their name? I'm so glad my granddaughter's school was she went to private school, but they taught them how to write in cursive. You know, I have grandniece never that don't know that I don't think know how to write in cursive because all they're being given is tablets.
Oh,
Yep, you right. Lady D, I had to literally teach mine. I pulled them to
Yeah,
the side and literally had to do it because I was like, wait a minute, you gonna have to sign stuff, and
yeah.
Mhm.
you don't know how to write in cursive. So I had them to do italic and regular cursive writing.
And also read it. Because if they're not able to write it, there's still some of the letters look different. So for them to be able to read it, they have to
Yeah,
practice writing it as well.
Yeah. I mean, so this one I'm with 47 with. Why the heck you take it out to school in the first place? That was just I understand all this AI business and this coding
Now
business
for a
and this
couple of
computer
years
business.
now.
But come
Mhm.
on, man. Come on. This it's madness. 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 Sheer madness. All right. We're gonna move from that. I just had to drop that one in there. Now this one here. This one here, National Baptist USA the National Baptist Convention.
Oh boy. Mm.
Now, there, these people want somebody kick box and
Hello. This is what we talk about unity, and this is the issue. That's a problem. It's a big problem. And for $300,000, really?
but it's not $300,000. It's
It-
$9.67
yes,
that each
because
church is supposed to receive.
it's only about 30,000 or less churches. That's
Yeah,
why.
yeah.
They have a certain number of churches. That's why.
They said 31,000 churches. So if you
So
divide 300,000
by
by the
that, that's
31,
what they
it's
end up getting.
$9.67.
That's what they end up getting. To sell out your people for that. Really?
First of all, and for those who don't know what we're talking about with the
Uh,
National Baptist Convention, they did a deal or accepted some funds from Targets. Okay. They read now
yes.
the question is
Stating
how are there you wanna tell a little bit about it, Michelle?
what is it like? So the funding was to state to help uplift Black people, to help with programs, job programs, training, and all these different things. How's $9 going to help a church do all those things? That can't even make offering. That's not even offering. That's
But
being
you know
tithe.
what? That just shows how shallow even the church people are, but it just shows what Target thinks about melanated skinned people.
You know what? For me, you're right, but I'm not even thinking about Target. They can think what they already think, whatever they think. It's the church. And like in Jamaica, they said into laka laka laka. Like they just take and licky licky,
Licky,
just take
licky,
anything.
malaka, laka,
Licky, licky.
licky.
They licky licky. Yeah, they take two. Just want anything. Just take any little thing. You know. And they didn't even have a discussion when Target came to them. Like Jamal Bryant, who started this, they should have had a conversation. Okay, this is what they want to do. What should we do? You know, it's unity. It's a conversation. You know, and that was lacking. That's what they said that we suffer with. We suffer with unity. You give us a little dollar, little dollars, and we're like, oh yes. No, it's more than that.
It's sad. It's sad
It's
because it
more
is.
it's more than sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jai.
I was gonna say it's more than that to us who actually like value whatever your spirituality religion is, right? But for them it's a business deal most of the time. Even the people, no offense to him, like Jamal Bryant, it's a business deal. So I could see them doing something silly like that. And then the question is, what are you covering up accepting something silly like that?
But it's reported that Jamal Bryant, the pastor of New Birth Missionary Church right here in Atlanta, that he says he apologized and he didn't really, I guess he didn't know in regards to it, in regards to the accepting the the money. So he says Pastor Jamal Bryant slams church for accepting Target's 300,000 donation amid DEI boycott. So he's there slamming them. It is a it's saying here, and he's one of the pastors that spearheaded the boycott during the Easter time. So he's livid, that the National Baptist Convention accepted that money.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
don't believe it, lady.
But we know
Those,
national
those,
convention is all about money anyway. So
So, but then is the National Baptist Convention? I don't think aren't they just over the Baptist churches? I don't think that,
but
uh, or
but they
all churches, all of the different denominations, falls underneath them.
Baptist, Baptist.
Right.
That's
So
not
this is
Baptist
so it
convention.
doesn't really mean that all of the churches,
Mm-mm.
all of the
But
denominations fall under it.
but most of the churches are Baptist
Our
churches now.
Baptist
You
church,
gotta,
or
yeah,
follow
most of the
their
churches,
doctrine. Because
yeah.
also in his statement, he said Brian declares, during his Sunday sermon, "Are you crazy to think we're gonna sell out for chump change? You must not know who we are." He revealed he contact Reverend Boyce Kimber, president of the National Baptist Convention, urging the organization to join the boycott and reject the donation. Kimber defended the decision, emphasizing a 3-year plan with Target to benefit Black communities. With the federal government making deep cuts in education, healthcare, and other essential services, we know the Black church will be called upon to step in the gap, he said. Target's generous donation will help us provide scholarship, support senior citizen, and invest in entrepreneurship programs that uplift our people and the future. Target, based in Minneapolis, where George Floyd 2020 killing ignited global protests, has pledged $2 billion to support Black-owned businesses by December 2025. However, the company's January 24th decision to abandon this commitment at its DEI program sparked outrage. So, this pastor here is still defending taking the money from Target, all right, and saying that it's benefiting groups, programs, and seniors. And so how can $9.67 benefit seniors and programs for Black individuals, Black youths, and stuff like that? How can I don't
Exactly.
understand? I
It's
don't
all it
understand.
Yes,
seems to be like
exactly.
a propaganda thing, because they were losing money. Remember, they were being boycotted for a couple of months, right? And they lost a lot of money.
But
So
Queen,
with
we're not talking
them,
about
but
targets.
you
We're talking
see,
about the church.
yeah, but the
About the church.
Target giving this money and the church publicizing this will in terms benefit Target. That's who it's gonna benefit, all of this. These things are planned, lady. These things are planned and they're done for a reason and a purpose. You know, and all of this coming up is giving Target publicity. And I mean, it's not giving them negative publicity, it's giving them positive publicity. You know what I mean? And they're not thinking about the amount of money, they're thinking on the effect. How will this affect people coming out and supporting Target by saying, oh, yeah, Target donate some money? Oh, they're thinking about people of color now.
Well, I think
That's
that
the way
it's
I'm
going to
looking at it.
backfire at this point. I think it's going to backfire on them with this type of publicity that's going around. That $9.67 is what each church is going to get from this so-called wonderful deal that they have made up. Press the like up the like and share. All righty. So it's madness.
But
It's
it's for few
total.
people breaking it down at 9,000 and change. They're just looking at that large amount. That's what they're looking at. It's
Yeah, and
people like people that analyze these things. They're the one that's gonna look at the breakdown of this money. But majority and the publicity of it is not the $9, but it's the large amount that was donated.
yeah. Oh man, I'm telling you, it's a sad day. It's like another sellout. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know.
Yeah, it's the unity. This is what we're
Yeah.
talking about. We need to be more unified, you know?
Yeah.
And I think we are. We did a great job. And it's just this one part. But even though it's one piece, it still makes a difference.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know. But all right. So yeah. Anyone else want to comment on that? Okay,
No, I'm
everyone's good
good.
on
Enough
that.
said on that one. That was good.
I'm telling you,
It's crazy.
um, it is. It's a serious thing, and I'm hoping that. Well, we can't hope because the church already stood their grounds on why they took the money and what they feel that is going to benefit whom, and all of those things. So let's see where that goes.
No,
All right, let's see where that
no.
goes.
And I can't understand because the that's a big organization. That organization has some powerful churches, you know. I mean, those the old churches, the churches that have money, all of them belongs to the Baptist convention. You know, they're powerful churches that are in that organization. So I don't know. Who knows? Let me tell you something. Sometimes I stop wondering because, but for everything, there is a cause, there's a reason why, and they're waiting for the solution, or they have already came to that conclusion and just working around the fine print of it. So let's see what happens. That's my take on it.
All right, let's see if it's a back if it falls back on them. I don't know. I really doubt it. Yeah, but yeah, let's move on to our next quick touch and go topics. Um, sleeper cells, sleeper cells in America. I don't know. Somebody put that in the chat. Sleeper cells in America. You all just know. You all think they just come in? They're sleepers for a reason. They've been here for a long time.
Maybe the person put in the chat to say they may become active now because of what's happening.
No,
But
no,
then
no. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to put it in the chat. What I'm saying is, do even us on the panel think that the sleeper cell has just been here? Is that another reason to promote this for war? I mean, like really. And we're supposed to be doing our drop-ins, folks. We have to really start because when they when they fired off those missiles and hit Iran, we were supposed to get on and talk about those things because those are right then and there news. You know,
Yeah, and they
that
bombed
we need to
the U.S. Army base
yeah, I'm
too.
gonna
I
start
mean,
tagging you all for us to go and reason on those stuff. But yeah, the sleeper cells in America, it's a serious thing because we know that they're here. And there's been a couple of warnings going out on gathering in large groups, going to
hmm
a lot of these outdoor festivals and
yeah,
things such as that, although we don't want to cause any fear, you know, because we definitely can't live our lives, you know, in fear, but it's a matter of just being aware, aware of your surroundings, aware of what's, you know, what's going on day to day in your even your neighborhoods, things such as because yeah, they
hmm
have been here, they are here, and well, I feel that they have been here and they are here, and it's just a matter when we have all those little bombings, those are them. You
hmm
know, those are
yeah.
those are
And the border has been open for a long time. Who knows who is here?
who is here. Yeah.
We don't know who came in. So just have to be cautious. And there is a warning, to be mindful when you go in large. gathering and what have you. You know, they did issue the Homeland Security did issue that warning. So we just have to be mindful and careful because they're trying to avoid it. But America right now is at war, even though they're not saying that they are.
Well,
But I know there's
Iran put out there that they ceased, and so did well, let's say America is at war. Are we at war with ourselves? You know, are
mm-mm.
we really at war with ourselves? Bill, it's alleged that Bill Gates has released some mosquitoes in Florida, GMO mosquitoes, and it's alleged that scientists send out some bacteria infected mosquitoes in Hawaii, and they say it's to kill the bad ones. I mean, like, are we using mosquitoes and all these things now as a way to depopulate America
Honey.
or the world?
Mm, mm.
Anyone want to touch it?
Whenever they do things like that, their backlash is the same as how they put them tiger fish in Jamaican water, and it's eating up all the doggone fishes in the reef. Right now, the fishermen they don't have much fish to fish for. I mean, they always do these things, you know. They put things out there. They claim to solve one situation and something else evolve. Look at the big sea. I mean,
Well,
nothing right now.
I'm encouraging all get those protectants, those so you don't get bit with the GMO ones or the other modified ones or any of them. So
Mm,
use some. They don't like mint and thyme and sage and catnips and
Citronella plant.
citronella. I wonder with the citronella because sometimes I have citronella all over the place and they still around.
you
Oh,
know what I found work too lately? The tomato. I don't know if y'all remember. There's this tomato that I remember it vaguely in Jamaica, but this plant, I remember years ago I had planted it. It's the little tiny round tomatoes. But you see the plant, the plant it gives off an odor. It's it's I can't explain the odor that it gives off. But since I planted it this year, believe me, I haven't seen any bugs, any mosquitoes, and normally they come in through. I have to put up those mesh on my door, but I didn't see any this year. So try that. It's some little small tomatoes. I'm gonna see what the name of it was. Lady, you bought it for
Romano,
me. You
Romano.
bought me the yeah.
Yeah, it might be the Romano.
I don't know which one, but honey, that thing is working, and I smell it strong when I open my door.
That let me give Queen an applause.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you,
Take a
thank
bow,
you,
queen.
thank
Take a
you,
bow. Take a
thank
bow, queen.
you. Yes,
Queen
yes.
bow because Queen has posted her callaloo out
Yeah,
of her pot and
and,
she showed us her cooking her callaloo
Ooh,
self-grown
yes,
callaloo
and my tomato, and my tomato.
and your tomatoes. So big up. Donna
we're
yes.
says
still waiting for my share.
Donna says civilians are targeted. And Sharon says, my money may be a drop in the bucket, but I am still not shopping at Targets. The reason why they don't take us seriously, we easily bought. And that is it. Right,
Exactly, Sharon. Yes.
That's
that is
it.
it right there, Sharon. Easily bought. And to think that the Baptist church has sold out. Who they said has sold out before in the Bible? Um who was sold black people was sold out for 50 cents. How did how
30 pieces of silver. So,
I'm trying to remember that saying. I'm trying to remember that saying. Oh my god.
mm.
I soon tell you. I soon tell you. I soon tell you.
Yeah. But
Soon tell you.
regarding the mosquitoes, so
Mm.
the CNN said 700 was a million were approved, but they actually
Need
have
to stop.
2.4 billion genetically modified mosquitoes out there. So
Can
to
you
that
imagine?
use. And they said that these genetically modified male mosquitoes can produce, so they're able to produce male offspring. So it says they're only able to produce viable. They're only able to produce viable male offspring. So I guess no females, just males. This sounds like a disaster. And if you look at history, without me running through history right now, if you look through history, it happened in Australia and different countries where they had too much of this animal, so they bring in something else to kill it, and then it's a disaster every single time. So I don't see how
Mm,
this time is going to be any different. Especially mosquitoes, such a tiny animal. There's so many of them. How are you going to control them?
mm, Look, these are the days. It's everybody experimenting and they experiment on everything. Hey, from the food down to the clothes you even wear, because even those they experimented onto the material. And
Yep,
then,
even to the people.
yeah, honey, let me tell you something. This world, it's not the world. These people in this world.
Yeah, and they're doing it in California and Florida, as you said.
Oh, well, you know what? I guess TikTok didn't like us talking about I guess the cells and the Baptist church because they sure booted us off real quick.
Be serious.
Yeah,
I keep doing that. This is the second time.
I'm very, very serious. And they said that they banned us until July the 3rd. Do you
Stop
God.
it.
this?
Stop it.
Yes, no, I'm being truthful. So,
And this is not even fake news. This is
What?
real news.
oh, I'm telling you, these outlets is something else. These outlets is something else. And we were sitting on 80 viewers. This is something else. Yeah.
Oh,
You
So,
wow.
see?
yeah, they
And
just banned.
this is not even fake news. This is a real topic.
These are real topics. This is what is being discussed. I mean,
Exactly. And we
really.
have things to, you have, resources to back it up. So I don't see why
Absolutely.
they would say that.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. You know what? Instagram has disconnected the stream as well.
What?
You
This is
serious?
Oh,
true. Yeah, I
Did
guess
you start talking about mosquitoes?
this is
Oh,
an outrage.
I think we need to. Yeah, I'm thinking it's about the. You know what? I'm thinking it's about the mosquitoes.
yes. Since we started leaving those,
Yes,
yeah.
but we said it's an alleged. We don't know if it's true. We said it.
But we have resources to back it up because you have the Smithsonian reporting it. You have
No,
CNN. CNN is reporting it.
this is something else. Wait a minute.
July
I'm
23rd.
hoping YouTube and them didn't don't kick us off as well. So if we get dropped off of these other two, Facebook and YouTube, please let us know because wow, that is really a wow.
Yeah, both of them.
Okay, well, you see, we have to not say certain things, I guess. So we have to know how to say certain things.
It's
Ooh,
a legend.
There's nothing better that we could have said it because it's in CNN. I'm even reading from Smithsonian.
well,
So we have
you already hear it's alleged that 40. I gotta start saying alleged for everything that comes out of my mouth. It's alleged that 47. Um, that's why we don't say his name. We say 47, but maybe we need to say 48 or 46, or we gotta
And we
call it
don't say that word. We say the big C.
the big. I mean, yeah, cause remember
big
we couldn't say
OC.
that other. We couldn't say that other word, so we started to say the big C. You know, I mean,
OC, right?
like Jesus, sensitivity all around the place. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm gonna have
I
to learn.
I'm so
I'm
floored about
I'm gonna have
the
to learn why the two networks booted us. So
yeah.
Are they
yeah,
going to send you some type of notification, Lady D?
I asked for one. I just put in. I didn't get to do the Instagram one yet, but
Okay.
I did. Yeah, yeah. Sharon says, "Lady, Remember who owns these social medias. Exactly. We have
Oh,
to be
oh, and we
mindful.
mentioned that name earlier too.
But I keep telling you
Yes.
that CNN said the
We,
same
we,
thing. We're just reporting what was in
we
the news.
mentioned the
Well,
B
Seriously.
did you hear
name.
that 40 whatever said that CNN is a fake news? What's up with you?
Oh
Mm,
You got this.
Lord, oh Lord.
Woo, all right, we gotta go way out. All right, well,
mm,
it is reported. Man, now I'm not sure what to talk about. Um,
mhm.
You could
because
go back
we have
to
some
the love
topics
topic.
here. We have some topics here that's gonna be very, very touchy. So I don't think we can
Mhm.
touch these topics because we don't want YouTube and Facebook to boot us as well. So
I don't know. I don't.
no. Well,
There,
Queen, go to Jamaica. Go to Jamaica, Queen, because these other topics, we can't touch them. I'm afraid
Oh,
to touch them because what's going to happen? So let's go to Jamaica. Um, let's go to
all
Jamaica.
right.
What you have in Jamaica?
Okay, we have quite a bit of stuff going on because it's election time, and there's a lot of I mean, not election in terms of the prime minister, even though that is coming around, but the different Lord of mercy parishes, the different parishes, they're having their elections, and there's some messy, messy stuff going on within the election. For example, you had this craziness going on with Alfred Dawes, where he's saying that Jamaica spent $3 million on a drill bit, when the JLP, the government, is saying they did not spend 3 million, they spent $250,000. What this drill bit's supposed to do, it's like bone. If they have a problem with your bone or what have you, those they have different pieces of the drill that can maybe cut the bone or mend the bone or what have you, but it has different parts to it, and this is in the hospital. But they're saying that they could have spent less for it instead of spending that much money. And what it's doing is causing a lot of controversy because the JLP, Dawson is saying that this newer drill, that it's in demand, but they shouldn't spend that much. So Wilfred Dahl Sierra, he's the resident of the newer drill. Well, he's the person that brought in the idea of the newer drill. So there's a lot of stuff going on with the JLP and the PMP and not agreeing on this drill, and they're saying that that's what's going on with the government. They're spending too much money on things, instead of spending on equipment that is more needed. For example, the CAT scan machine and all of that, because they only have two of them in the whole country. So that's the issue. So I don't know if you want to touch that, or you want to go jump into the other one with the JLP. Um, is leading PMP by 8%, and some people they're saying are switching party, especially these two um individual, and that's what the PMP is saying, that the JLP is spreading that so much people is switching as a propaganda, and it was only those two individual. And from what Golden is saying, he's saying that they deserve to go on, and if you can't support the party reasonable, then it's all right to move on. Um, so he's saying that it's fake news. Um, so that's what's going on there. It's a lot of fight going on, and like I said, a lot of backbiting. Um, because of course who want to win. Everybody want to win. So that's it for the election and what's going on in Jamaica there. Everything is centered around that election right now. And everything that's coming out on the news, it's focused on the election.
Well, yeah, I saw where they said that this just threw me to the left. I saw where it just where it said that the JLP is the front runners right now, but they were asking for another poll to come out.
Mm-hmm.
They were waiting on another poll to come out, and they're saying that poll is more accurate than the one that everyone is the Don Anderson poll. It's the other poll. I forget the name of that one. That's more accurate than the Don Anderson poll that everyone is bigging the prime minister up on. Um, there's so much things going on with the party, with both parties, and I
Mm-hmm.
continue to say to the listeners, it should not be about parties. The same way I say it here in America, it should not be Democrat, Republican. It should be the candidate that's running, and it should be what that candidate, the history of that candidate, what that candidate is doing, what they're not doing, what they're promising, what the laws that they're trying to implement when they're in the office, and so on. So that's where I'm standing. I'm neither or. I'm neither a JLP. I'm neither a PNP.
But
I'm neither.
but you see, the
So
thing is now the JLP was very smart. What they did was they knew what the people wanted. You know, they knew people wanted the roads to be fixed. They knew people wanted better water and drainage system. You know, they knew these things. So because they knew these things, they started to work on it. You know, so
and
people see
that's it.
them doing this, encourage them to wanna switch over to the JLP
Yeah,
because they
but
say,
people should have.
oh,
Yeah, but
oh,
people should have saw. People should have saw that 8 years they had no good water, no roads, no increase in anything, no going down in crime, which the crime rate falling 42% has nothing to do with the party. It has to do with the police commissioner, whom is doing an awesome job
oh.
right now. It has nothing to do, and I'm not talking about the Chinese one. I'm talking about
I
I'm
know we
okay, that one who is doing an awesome job right now.
Mhm.
And so I mean, like, if persons don't see what is being done between 8 years and now, then I don't know what to tell them. If I don't know what Mark if Mark Golden would be a better prime minister or not. I don't, you know, I don't really hear much from them,
Yeah.
besides one and two things that you will see on YouTube coming from certain bloggers whom are for those particular parties. Um, so for me, I just don't know. But the people that are living in Jamaica and persons that I speak with continue to say that, you know, the Andrew himself is a corrupt prime minister. There's a lot of it's alleged that he is a corrupt prime minister. He has a lot of back dealings. He does a lot of
But
back.
the man know how to do. The man know how to be successful in his corruption. That's the
Yeah,
difference.
that's the
Okay,
difference.
he knows what he's
Who
doing.
told the rest of them not to be smart? I don't know who told them not to be smart.
That's
The,
the thing.
the
And
respect
and
for you
of
quite
course they say
quiet.
he's
Yeah,
building the infrastructure of Jamaica. He's
yeah,
bringing in investors. He's bringing, and those are the things. Remember, it's not the poor people that run Jamaica, you know, the people them up in Amona
yeah. But
Island, all
they
these
also have to look
places.
at when you're bringing in the investor at what cost of what cost it is to the citizens of Jamaica.
But
Like
it's the
what
Mona
cost
Ice,
to the
but it's
citizens
the
of
Mona
Jamaica.
Ice people, lady. The
You're
people them
losing
up in
the
Mona Ice
beaches.
that them have
You're
support
losing
everything.
beaches. You're losing land. You're losing. There's a lot that the Jamaican citizens are losing, and they're not even looking at it because of the fact that it doesn't matter to them. Because when you're poor, you're not even looking at certain things. You're just
Mm,
looking at the minimum things. The minimum
mm,
things are the big things for you. You know.
mm.
Um. So I guess the respect that you quiet.
TikTok and Instagram is best because you couldn't hear my voice.
Oh, it's
Go ahead
okay.
and speak.
Every time I try to say something, I echo. So
Oh,
I
I'm
just stop
sorry.
talking.
I didn't hear
I don't know
you.
why the echoing going on.
Okay.
So I stop talking and just let Queen do all the talking.
Would you just go
I'm
on
Queen.
and talk, no man? Sure. You, me,
Huh?
we got to go through this every time.
No,
We're not going through it this week. Just do your thing.
we're not gonna babysit you tonight.
What
Okay.
Thank
baby?
you,
What?
thank you.
We're
What
not
Mm.
gonna do it, the respecter. We're not gonna do it.
What? No, Noni, Noni. They
Yeah.
got something to make.
Especially last week he was AWOL. So mm,
I have three topics that's sitting here that's looking in my face that I really want to touch, but I'm just so afraid to touch it now. Because it definitely has
Lady,
to do with the government.
lady,
So go ahead, the
please,
respecter.
1 minute, please. I want you to leave the greatest prime minister ever alone. And Your Holiness is, and Your Holiness is the greatest prime minister ever. And why not? And the people them dumb, and I him. Just like 47, it's the people who are foolish, not them. They must secure the rest of them life. And the people refuse to do the same. Because they are wasting a lot of time every day on prime ministers and presidents and not realizing if I take half of these hours I'm putting out there into finding how to get some money today. They might waste time and I waste time at the end of the week, then I nothing to show for it. And that goes for all the way. You have a business or two, and you make sure your business are to run right and proper. Yeah, you're being mindful of what's going on in government and the world. But you're not gonna spend your whole hour on it and I waste time from people who don't care about you and your businesses and family. So I think if the people just find a way, two and three at a time, just join together and say, all right, brother and sister, let's do this, let's do that. Take the mind off of government for a while and just be progressive. You have to make this amount of money today. And just try and focus that way there. Ignore government and ignore some business owners and so forth. You see a change. Think about it.
Anybody want to comment to what the respecter just said? I guess everyone is giving you the floor, the respecter, because you've been waiting for so long. So if you want to address any of the other topics there when you were unable to, you can go ahead.
No, man, I was able to hear everybody's comment and so forth. Like I said, you need to stay focused to take a change and see if we can pass it on to somebody else to be mindful of the time we are wasting, or some of us are wasting, and not gaining no kind of finance from doing that to the government and businesses and what's going on in immigration and so forth. Focus on we on our future.
So give us
Put the
some
most time.
ideas. Give us some ideas since we're not to be focusing on what's going on with immigration because I, I don't know if you feel that that does not affect us, and if you feel that we should not be
It,
focused on the alleged
it,
money thing. Go ahead.
it shouldn't affect us. It's saying it shouldn't affect us because if we stay focused on we and free finance and free family and future, we'll see the importance of yes, we are here, we are going, and we are still we are going, but we can individually do anything to change the prime minister or president's behavior and money being thief and this one and that one, and we can do anything in the physical nature to do changes. So we have to just know that okay, that's gonna work itself out. I have to stay focused and securing me and my family and my expenses and finances and try to pass it on to somebody, even a stranger, who can say some nice kind words, some bless in some kind of way, who are going through situations financially. But if we spend a whole day or half of a day I talk about politics and what this and what that, we're going to lose out. what we're supposed to make at the end of the day, we're not gonna make it because we waste time with somebody talking about somebody who's rich.
So you feel that persons, not just this platform, but persons should not um speak in regards to immigration, speak in regards to politics, speak in regards to none of that. Where we should be mum on those topics. That's what you're saying?
No, no,
Speaking
no, no.
towards issues that affect people in the country. That's
We
what
know
we talk
what's
about.
going on because we hear it and we see it. So if we already know it and we know physically, we can do anything or even speaking. We can do but so much. We can spend the whole day watching, we are listening to the radio, listening to this one and that one, and we are lose all money. The time we are spending on Andrew and the rest, we spend it on ourselves,
But what money are
improve
we
our
losing?
business,
What
improve our
exactly what
making.
money are
And
we losing out of because we're not being paid for being on the
I'm not
platform?
saying,
We're just
I'm not
there.
saying, I'm not saying no particular person,
Uh-huh.
but me, I'm not out there in the streets worrying about government. I'm talking about those who are out in the street and going through situation, don't have nothing but them in the rallies and marching and all them things there. And it's an everyday situation, and when everything is done and locked down, they might beg, take your time, go find a job. I go do some hustling and be mindful that these things are going on. Government thing, government ain't right. The whole world should know that by now. Government is not for you. PMP is not for labor right, and labor right is not for PMP. 47 is not for nobody but the Republicans who like him. So if we know these things, yeah, we can talk about it when we done work and when we done make money. And we won't relax in. If we chose so, we can chat for a minute or two with somebody or even look
So
up
so
and
what's
Google
the
some
need?
things
So
and
what's
check out
the
some
need?
things.
So what's the need for a platform um to bring awareness to persons? Because it's not
Nothing.
everybody, it's not everybody listen to news, and there are
Well,
so many persons whom at the end of a reasoning Thursdays, even on my show will call and say, yeah, I didn't know about that information or that information until you really
same
brought
to
it
me.
up.
Same me too.
So the information that we provide is very important,
I'm not saying our show
and it's
lady
and
be or
it's
nobody else's
floor and it's
show.
floor
I'm
for
saying
discussion. But I know
I'm
that you're not necessarily saying anyone. I'm just using even for
in
say this
general.
I'm just using even for say this platform, because if you're saying persons are not to worry themselves or engage in anything political or anything that is not concerning more than them getting what is due to them, um money monetarily or so on, then I mean that's a dull way to look at it. That's just my
But
perspective. Be-
that is not what I explained.
so
I'm
what did you
saying
I guess
in
I guess
general.
I'm I guess I'm getting it wrong then.
All right, let me put myself. I get up
Yeah.
in the morning and I'm listening to the news, watching the news, and I'm losing focus that I have things to do that's gonna bring money to me or to motivate somebody and so on and so forth. And I'm spending too much time get caught up in news and what's going on in government. And I personally can do nothing to stop what's going on in government. So why am I gonna keep doing that same routine every day
And you know
and not
what?
making any
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I have this comment here and then I'm going to say something. Sharon says, if Martin Luther King just thought about his family, where would we be? You have to stand for something or you will fall for everything. And
hmm
that's a great way
Yeah.
to put that.
But
Yeah.
Sharon too is taking what I'm saying the wrong way. I
No,
am
but I
saying
don't think it's.
individually,
Mhm.
individually, if you look at what's going on, let's just through Jamaica. All the people in Jamaica and walking up and down the street, up and down the street, up and down the street, and they're talking about Andrew, they're talking about the LGLP and the PNP, and none of them is working, none of them is making any money. If you put the same energy, stop worrying about government for a minute and put that energy, the time you're wasting, into finding some way to make some money to take home to help your family, help yourself.
And you can't
Wait,
make
wait,
that a
wait,
moral thing
before,
either,
before,
the respecter,
Government,
before,
because there are people
government.
that work and they still want
before,
things changed.
but
And
even with your stance, the respecter, if the world thinks like that, what will happen to the world? Then there will be no room for change, because it's persons coming together
if
and
the world,
fighting together, just as Sharon said with even Martin Luther King, using him as an example. It's persons, it's voices that are heard and gathering people together with like minds to fight for a cause. So
that is a
if everyone took up the attitude that, hey, all I'm gonna do is find a way for myself to feed my family, and that is it, and not address the situations that are hindering you in the first place from providing for your family, then you're still stuck in the rut.
that is a poor example. If you don't mind me saying that, it's a poor
Okay.
example. What I'm saying, ladies, people is not gonna change Andrew, ain't gonna change government. It's in 2025. 2025 is not gonna change government in America, Jamaica, Canada, nowhere. But the
Well,
time people wasting in the street, just listen to what I'm saying, the time people wasting in the street, so how many hundreds of thousands of years right now, it ain't doing no different.
how
To
many
put those
changes
energies
has
that
been,
you
but
put in
how
every
many
day, and your
changes
kids are
has
suffering, and your kids can't go to school, don't have the money to buy food for kids.
But
Kids
how
can't
many
afford lunch, can't
changes,
afford.
how
Put that
many
energy into
changes
making
has,
money.
how many changes has been made? And if you're not given the opportunities to go out there and be able to make money, how are you going to make money? If you are
Put
facing
this,
blockage,
you're not
if
understanding. Y'all
you,
are not understand me. Put the same
I
energy
totally hear
you're
you.
putting. Put the same energy you're putting in chatting
But
about
if
government, people money. I ain't doing the right things. Put that same energy. Ignore government. If you ignore government and you focus on your life and your finance, your life and your family, government is gonna realize that, oh wow, the street looks empty. Oh why these people in my face and people are doing about them.
No,
Government is gonna wonder.
government is going to carry on business as usual, and they're going to feel that
But
you
it's
are
not going to be the
content.
same.
They're going to feel that you are content with the impression that they are giving you. Your voice has to be heard. If you are not raising your voice, then how you expect to be heard if you are sitting in the corner taking minimum wage,
mm,
okay, and not saying anything about accepting and getting this minimum wage? How would there be a change? There has been a change the other day to $30 per hour in California. Yes, we understand the cost of living, etc., but voices are heard. People are making are going out there and protesting and calling their their representatives and their senates and demanding change. So if you don't if you don't allow make your voice be heard, how is there ever going to be change? And no,
you're
I don't think the
you're
what Sharon said was 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 nonsense, because it's true. How would we have received a lot of the rights that we are receiving now as melanated skin people
lady.
in America?
You remember a couple of years ago, we worked with RGIS, and we used to go to work and sit down for like 3 4 hours and not working, and they wouldn't pay us. And till that California team bought it up, and they fought for it and what have you. But we did get a change, and across the board in every state, people got money back, compensated back to them. You have to speak up. How people gonna know things, or how you gonna make changes if you don't speak up? Like lady always say, it's important to vote. You do your primary voting, the neighborhood voting. Those are the ones you vote for, and you can make a change. But people don't
Yes.
take time out, especially people of color. They don't take time out to go out and do these things. They feel it's not important.
And it is, because you can even look at New York City, where Andrew Cuomo, he was running for mayor, and he was the governor previously. And there were some things that happened during the pandemic, and then he also was let go as governor. He had to end up leaving because of some sexual allegations, right? And then he decides now he's going to want to become mayor of New York City. And there was another man, his name was Mamdani, and he was, they call him socialist. And even a lot of wealthy people say, you know what? If he becomes president, no, I mean, not president, if he becomes mayor,
Mhm.
all the wealthy people, we're going to have to leave because this man is a socialist. And then,
I heard
guess
that woman
what?
leaving though. I forgot her name. She
Yeah.
leaving.
And then
Hmm.
the next thing was, they also said that GOP, that Cuomo was getting a lot of GOP funding. So that's on the Republican side. So we're like, if we have him, it's like another Republican city, right? So guess what? They did the votes, and guess who won? Mamdani. Okay,
Yeah,
so people want to
yeah,
change. So we're making a change, and they
yeah,
did the votes. So it does happen. It works. It makes a
yeah.
difference.
Mm-hmm.
What change is people who I'm talking about is making for their family by being in the streets and being in government face and making noise. What change are they making for their family? They can
No, no, you're confusing me with the respect.
then
No,
why
no.
is it more better for the
No.
government or for their family? Take care of family. Government will take care of itself. There's enough people talking out and speaking out.
Change
There's
come
too
with
many poor. Half of
numbers.
Jamaica is poor, a suffer. And I'm in the street doing what?
But they're not speaking out for the government. They're speaking out for the people, the citizens.
Family first. Provide for your family. And start worry about what thief up money and
But
what
people,
government is
but
that.
people are providing
Provide for
for
your
their
family.
family. People are providing for their family. That's why people. That's why persons have roof over their heads. They have food to eat,
Lady, the
and
one
they're
third of Jamaica
living.
is under poverty.
Say what?
One third of Jamaica is suffering badly.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because
Why?
Yeah,
of
go farm, go farm.
Huh?
Go
Why?
farm.
Say no, no, no. Why?
they they are wasting time thinking nobody cares, and they don't have the energy and the mindset and all the things that it takes for a man and a woman to realize that I have a child, I have a family, I have me. I need to provide for family. So I cannot be concerned about what's going on in government. I can talk all I want. Government not gonna change because of my voice.
And they're not talking. They're not. Some is not talking, and they're still in poverty, right?
Mhm.
So why not take the chance of talking with? Hopefully, there can be a change.
They don't think enough
And
people talking,
suppose
lady, and been talking
where
all
do
over the
you see
world.
from we have been reasoning for umpteen years? Where have you seen people talking and there's no change? Where in Jamaica you see people is
Every
standing together
everywhere in the world,
and
people
really
are talking.
protesting? Where?
Everybody is not gonna come to the table. Some people can't come to the table.
The respect them.
Some people have to stay put where they are. They don't have bus here. They cannot just walk and go find something and then they
Yeah.
how they can make it home. They
Sha-
not no food on them table.
Sharon says,
They
we
not
the
no
people
light.
put you in power to have our best interests, but the politicians go in to get rich off the backs of the poor people.
And everybody
They
knows
sell the
that.
beaches. Poor people don't have access to their backyard. My heart feels far. So, yeah. So you have to, these people that you're putting into place, and if they're not doing what you put them into place to do, you're supposed to just sit back and relax and just concern about the family. You're not supposed to
But you keep
protest. You're not supposed to go
young
vote.
queen keep
You're not
saying
supposed to
young
do
queen
any of that.
lady,
What?
young queen said it a lot. Young queen said it a lot. Think about it, lady. We put a whole lot of black people in office, lady, including Barack Obama. Poor people still poor. Not just black people, but poor people are racist. People still poor. They didn't do any changes, not necessary changes that would benefit people, poor people, homeless people, veterans. Nothing changed. No matter who goes in office, who we put in office, nothing changed.
They
Everything
have been, they over the years, they have, I've been in this country 50 odd years, and the 50 odd years that I've been in this country, there have been changes. I've seen a lot of change. I've seen a whole lot of change, especially when I was in government. When I used to go to Black and Puerto Rican caucus, I saw a lot of changes going on. Not maybe it's not visible to you, but people who knew the struggle and knew where color people of colors are coming from and what's happening now, they will see the change.
I
But
want
there are changes, and not just here, but even in Jamaica. I went to Jamaica, and I remember years ago when I used to go to Jamaica regularly. There's a lot of changes since then. I mean, the traffic is flowing better now. I mean, they have stoplights now. They have. I'm not talking about tolls because I don't agree with that, but they have stoplights directing traffic now. They have lot of businesses now. I mean, I see a lot of changes. So what are you saying? Yes, there are some negative things, but there are a lot of positive things too.
those changes, Queen, are not something to talk about. Talk about the ghetto. I'm talking about people who are still living in board house and have to go in toilet in the back. People are still walking the street, taking bus, begging, borrowing, suffering.
Why? Because you feel like they're not focusing on their families?
Mhm.
Do you do what is going on in the environment that is
Lady,
making them not
you should
able
know
to
this.
provide for
You
their
asked a,
family? Of
you
course
asked
I
a
know. That's why I'm
question.
asking you the question.
You should know the answer for that
I
question.
already know the answer to the question. That's why I'm asking you, because obviously, with the statements that you are making, you don't seem to be in the real world. Because you're saying that people are to go out
Government,
there
lady,
and people,
government is
wait a
trying
minute.
to keep us a
We
requester
have
of
let you
people.
speak and speak and speak, and up till now, you're not making sense. Because
I'm
you
not making
keep,
sense.
no, you're not. Because you're
Government
saying
put
people
poor
need to
people in
go
the
out
position
there.
poor
You're
people are
saying
in.
people need to go out there and work. How are you going to go out there and work and provide for your family and there's no work out there for you to do?
What you mean there's no
What
work out
there's
to do?
a lot. The respecter. What in most of
Fishing
these
is not
ghettos, what
job.
work is there?
Fishing is
Where
not
do they
job.
have a lot of farmland to farm? Where?
Lady, if you're in the poor sectors of Jamaica, lady,
When was the last
what they
time you go
call
to Jamaica, the
ghetto,
respecter? When the
lady,
last time you
if you're
went
in
to
a poor,
Jamaica?
lady, I do not have to answer that. I came to
Okay.
Jamaica from where I'm at.
Jamaica
Nobody came
changed.
from where
Jamaica changed. Even within 2 years that I didn't go there, it changed. And within the 2 years I went back there, there's a lot of changes. Okay?
I'm going to
Every time
Jamaica
I
soon.
go
I'm gonna
there,
see if
I
there's
see
been any
changes.
changes.
hold on to your philosophy and your belief. Government
I'm
people
not
have to
going
be
off.
in
I'm not
government
going off.
spaces
I'm not going
to
off a
make changes.
philosophy and my belief. I'm going off actual facts and what I see. How
Uh,
many
Which
youths are
part?
out there saying that they cannot get a job? How many students that have went to school and
yeah.
come out of school with their educations and still cannot
Mhm.
get a good
Get
viable
that
job?
job.
Where, when you don't have land to say you can go farm and get one and two crops to go to the market or to go wherever and sell, what are you to do?
This.
That's a lot. If you don't, they don't have nothing to do. That's why a lot of them is idle. That's why a lot of them have to rob and steal, extort. That, what are you saying to me, the respecter?
You just contradict yourself.
How did I contradict
You
myself?
just contradict yourself
How?
in what I'm trying to say to you. People leave in college and can't find a job, but they must stand up outside on the street and rebel against government and rebel against this and that and see that. And it's not
So there can be changes.
So
have
if
it
they
your way.
so they so
I
if
made enough
they
sense.
don't so if they don't go out there
Mm.
and protest for job creation, for a better way of living,
Mhm.
what do you want them to do?
Okay.
Why do you need to go on the road every single day to protest
You
when you
don't need
need
to
a
go. You
job
don't people.
and
You
you
don't
need
need to go
money?
on the road every day. The
You need
respecter to
food.
protest,
Mhm.
but the respecter. You don't need to go on the road every day and protest. How you think certain things happen in even some of these garrisons? People block road with tire,
Yeah.
with concrete, with all sorts of things. So there's no passage until their voices can be heard. What are you
And in the
saying?
process of that, people
People go
dying with
out there
hunger.
and people trying to go to work. Some of them don't have work. People go walking. I know I have family members that go from east to north trying to find work and they cannot get work.
Mhm.
Government need to create certain jobs so that these
Yeah.
people can have work.
The
if
same
if
what you
if the
just said.
voice wasn't heard, that's how they came up with a lot of these call centers and certain things, because people go out there and go to their area councils and go to all of these people and protest and let them know, listen, we need for work. It's not that people don't want to work, it's not that people not trying to get any job, but if it's not there, what do you want them to do?
Mhm.
You know
And
something?
if,
Because
and if their voices are not
even the
heard.
job, even the overseas job program thing that they were running, where people come over here for farm work and what have you, even that is cut. I mean, it's really hard. It's, we know it's hard for them, but at the same time, I mean, you still have to try.
And nobody can say people not trying.
But you just
People
saying
are
it.
trying.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
just
You still
saying it
have
because you're saying that.
People are trying.
The
But
respect
people
you're
cannot spend
confused.
their whole day worrying about what somebody who's rich is doing and somebody who's running the country is doing. It's not changing. It's not making sense. And it's been
I
going
don't,
on
I don't,
forever.
I
People talk
don't
about
care. Like I keep saying, I don't care. It's not my business on the rich and what the rich is doing to get to where they want to go. What I care about is when you are robbing and you are taking away from, you are robbing and taking away from the poor. The respecter. Hello, caller.
Yes, the respecter. You see, instead of the Jamaican government making deals, making this, making that, what they need to do is make a way for the young people that's coming up now to have a foundation, have a job, give them training,
Yes.
and they wouldn't be
Trade
sitting on
school, yes.
the street. They wouldn't be sitting out on the street not doing anything. There's
Yeah.
no skills, nothing
Mhm.
they have learned, only to know how to survive. A hungry man is a hungry man,
Thank you.
and they do a lot of things to 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 survive. It's a survival thing in Jamaica. It's a survival
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Man, I thank you for calling in, and because it's like I'm saying it, and it's like the respecter is not hearing. You understand? If there's no work, I mean, what you mean? Don't go out there and make your voice to be heard. That I need a job. I need
Mm.
a job so I can make money. What you mean? You cannot go out there? You need to go and work. Work where? When there's no job, there's no opportunity there.
The Jamaican government know how to sell out. All they know how to do is sell, sell. And when this term is up, they move away from Jamaica and leave Jamaica still in poverty. We see what's her name? The prime minister before him did
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
What's her name?
Portia.
Just
Portia did it.
Portia. Yeah, she
He's
live in
doing it
Florida.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing it right now.
Yeah.
Chinese and Syrian people take over Jamaica, selling off all our um, resources and stuff like that we have there in Jamaica. They're selling it right now. The black people them can't go to beach.
Yeah.
Them
Yeah.
can't go them beach in their own backyard. They can't go.
Yeah. Yeah. They had a protest the other day over at um what's that hotel? Oh my God. In Ochi, where
With
they
the Widam Hotel, right?
no
Mhm.
oh my God. And they had a protest there, which a lot of elite, so-called elite folks were the ones that turned up, and they kept that meeting so hush hush. I think it's the Sands Hotel, or oh God, my brain with it, because ah but
Mhm.
that hotel, because that hotel was eating up, was taking up all of the beach space, and the
Mhm.
little space that they had left, they wanted to fence off that part, and they put it out that they wanted to have a meeting, and they kept that meeting so quiet. But when two people hear, and then they start spread it, and the amount of persons that turn out for that meeting, the amount of
Mhm.
persons that turn out, it stopped the contract. It stopped the
Good.
contract in its track. Couldn't go no further because they said no. So if we continue to
Well,
take things
mhm.
lying down, how can
Mhm.
there be changes? No, nobody is out every single day marching and carrying on. But when you need to go out there and protest. You have to make your voice be heard. So
Exactly.
I don't know.
Even here in America,
Yeah.
if it wasn't for us protesting, look at No King's Day. Look at that,
Yeah.
huh?
Yes.
Look at
Look at the what happened with my guy. The
there is
police officer
changes
shot.
like
If it wasn't
Wait a minute,
demonstration and
Queen.
thing, nothing wouldn't be done. Yeah.
Go ahead,
when
caller.
I
Um.
came to this country. When I came to this country in the 70s, the early 70s, people were still sitting in the back of the bus because they didn't realize that they could go up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
When I was living in Mount Vernon, and most everybody was still
Mhm.
sitting in the back of the bus.
Yes.
If it wasn't for
Mhm.
the NAACP, we would know what what we should do. If it wasn't for people talking and fighting for us,
Yes.
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
still where we are. We
Well,
yes, we are still
yeah.
where we are, but it's a little
Yeah.
bit better.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
until the philosophy that which all one race superior and another inferior, there will be no changes.
Yes.
That's what we should look at
I,
to, within
I have
ourselves,
a
people,
question.
how people treat other people. In our country, when we were younger in Jamaica, we didn't even know anything about racism until we came here.
Yeah.
So the respecter, there is changes. What I'm saying, one the only thing you need. David took a stone, a sling and a stone, and slay Goliath. One person can do it.
And
Before you go, Queen,
I
before
have
you
a
go, Queen, I
question,
heard
Lady
Noni the
D.
juice. Go
Lady
ahead,
uh,
Noni
D.
the juice. Yes.
uh,
Oh, okay. I have a question. I'm so glad the caller mentioned that because that was the first thing that came to mind was the NAACP here in America. So my question is, because there are so many Jamaicans over here, who is the strong force or the organization that fights for Jamaica, that lives in Jamaica? Is there a strong force there right now fighting for Jamaica?
the diaspora, yeah,
The people.
the people,
The
yeah, the
people is the
Jamaican
force.
people.
So there's not an organization set up such
You
as
have
the
the Caribbean
NAACP that have,
Association and all of those,
You
but
have right. You have
what's
different organization out
yeah,
in the diaspora, and you may have one and two in Jamaica with a couple of, let's say, elite individuals or persons with more financial stability that is fighting for a lot of
I was
things.
just,
Yeah.
yeah, that was my question, wondering what that strong force was and what were
Yeah.
the results of their fight and support for
And here we
Jamaican
go.
people.
Here we go again. Because guess what? You have to be careful too. Just like here has become, you have to be careful because if you stand up too loud, the parties, you know how they do.
Yes.
Send a man to come take you out.
Yes.
Hello, that's
Yes.
how that was, and it still is.
Hmm.
You know what I was addressing, Sharon, was that racism was in Jamaica. I heard you say racism wasn't in Jamaica. It was. The color of your
Colorism.
skin makes the difference.
Colorism.
The
Yeah.
was.
color,
It was.
yeah,
But
there was a color
we
thing,
didn't
yeah.
see it when we were
Mm.
younger. We didn't see it because if we see the white lady or anything like that, we just look upon her and we don't skin up our face and we don't, you know. But here it's different.
Yeah.
You know, it's so out there now, and even more so now that 47 is here. Things
Mm.
that people would hold down and not say, it's okay now.
Yeah. And I
You
don't
know,
know if we necessarily call it racism. We I would more say we call it colorism. More
mm,
light skinned people get more preference to
Yeah, it's still a form of
skin
racism. That's still
a
a form
dark
of racism.
skinned
yeah.
persons would get. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Racism here is black people is white people, Caucasian people just not liking black people and trying to oppress um
And you
a
have black people
race,
racist
a
against
race.
also people from the
Oh,
Caribbean,
Yeah.
because you have black people
Yes,
that are
yes.
racist also.
Yeah.
wait.
Go ahead.
Just
Yeah.
not just trying to oppress, but actually oppressing. So
Yeah.
racism, in order for you to be racist, that's what we tend to say. White people are racist. Black people cannot be racist because, at least in this country, because in order to be racist, you have to hold the power to oppress that specific group of people.
Yes.
So why? So it's not just you doing it based on these issues, based on your ethnic group, based on how you look, based on these things, your socioeconomic status, but it's mostly racism, based on this fake social construct racism. Okay, let me not go there, but racism is based on you have to have power to oppress the other group. So that's why we tend to
Mhm.
say white people are racist, black people cannot be, at least in this country, because we don't hold the majority of the power and the wealth to be able to do so.
And this is why I even stated in Jamaica it's more of colorism. The light skinned persons are more preferred to get certain jobs, to get
But it
certain
was
things,
the
such
people of
as more than they're
the
necessarily
light
being
skinned
racist
people
towards
had the
whatnot.
power, lady. They had the money. The
Yeah.
Chinese,
Yeah.
the mulattoes, they were the ones with the money in Jamaica, and they
Yeah.
were the ones controlling. Yeah, when you dark skin, you couldn't get. It was very hard to get a job in the government or in certain positions, certain places. There, when I was growing up in the 50s and the 60s, it was very hard. Is the modern time now things change?
It was hard, but it wasn't that it couldn't happen.
I don't know.
Because some
Mama tell
persons
me some
get
stories when
position.
she was in the
Yeah,
in
but
the
I'm not doubting. I'm not doubting any of that. But I'm saying that there were dark skinned persons in some positions as well as light skinned. They were more preferred to get certain positions, but you can't say that in nowhere in government in Jamaica back in 60, 70,
No,
50.
I'm not saying there was nowhere. I'm just saying that the majority, we talking about majority, like she said, that's where racism come about, with the majority in power. So I'm saying to you, the
No,
majority
it's
in
not the
power in those
majority. She
days,
didn't say it's the
yeah,
majority. She
were the
said
lighter skinned
it's
people in
who
Jamaica. They
is
the
who
ones
have the
were
power.
controlling
Yeah.
things in Jamaica in those
They were
days. That's
preferred.
what
They
I'm
were
saying.
preferred. Like even
Right.
the Manley family, the
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
Michael,
preferred.
Buster
they
Manti,
were,
all of them,
yeah,
they were very fair
yes,
skinned
they were
people.
lighter skinned
Yeah,
people. You know, Chira now come as that black man.
yeah,
You know,
as a dark skinned person, you sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is why I'm saying there were some black people that were in the upper class in that area as well. It wasn't totally just a light skin or white person thing. They were more favored to get
it's
better
true.
positions than dark skin, but dark skin was not elite. Is what's the word, exempt totally from having certain positions. And that's why I'm just referring on to what Michelle was saying in regards to racism and what racism is versus colorism in
And
Jamaica.
then, and then just to be clear, and correct me if I'm wrong, I didn't hear her say that racism or colorism wasn't in Jamaica. What I heard her say was when she came to America, it was the blatant disrespect and the
Yeah.
racism that she experienced here.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
That is true. That
Mm-hmm.
is true.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We saw it.
Well,
We came. We were frightened because we didn't know this was how this was. You couldn't sit on anywhere on the bus. My sister sat in the front of the bus, and they told her that she had to move. You know? Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so
mm.
much, man. It, you know what? We have already gone 8 minutes over our
Yeah.
time, but when the
It was good.
conversation
The
is
topics
hot,
were good.
the
All right.
conversation.
Thank you so
Oh
much,
gosh.
Lady D.
Oh, you are
Thank
most
you,
welcome.
Sharon.
That would that. Thank you
Mm,
for calling in, caller. Thanks for calling in, caller.
Bye bye.
All righty, take it easy.
mm,
Donna says the people needs, and then we're going to exit off. The respect had gotten cut off because as we said, we don't really know how to do the double up. But Donna says the people needs to abolish government. And then Donna says the people needs to abolish government and govern themselves and stop putting so much interest into a government who at the end of the day are people just like us.
mhm,
Yes. People
That,
just like
that's
us.
insightful.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're
mm.
going to leave on that note. We're going to leave on that note right there. And man, I'm just thanking each and every one for tuning in and for definitely reasoning with us, and we just want to thank Sharon, big up yourself, Donna, big up yourself, Don Minot, big up yourself. We didn't hear Myra today. Cool G, big up yourself. I know you listening. Blossom, big up yourself as well. The Respecter got disconnected. But thank you, the Respecter. Thank you. Oh, it looked like he was on this. I don't know. Blessings to each and every one. Thank you to our brother and sisterly station, Victorious 89.1 FM, that always stays to us to the end. Big shouts go out to YouTube's radio as well, exit at 10. And to all of our outlets that you're listening to, want to invite you also to listen Saturday to the Lady D show, 12 to 4 p.m. This week, I'll be on from 12 to 2 p.m. We're going to go and lay my sister friend to rest. Lonnie B, we love you and we miss you, and we're going to celebrate you this weekend.
Rest
And
in peace.
it's all about love, nothing but love on a Sunday evening from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. with myself, Lady D, Cool G, and Blossom. Be sure to check us out. And as you're doing right now, listening to Reasoning Thursdays each and every Thursdays, we thank you all. Blessings upon blessings upon blessings to each and every one. To listen to some fabulous music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You will just always go to our TuneIn app, or you can go to www.dapowerhouseradio.com, or you can listen in on our telephone line where you'll continue to get all of your calls, etc. Our telephone listening line, which is 667-930-9036. Love you folks. Arrivederci. Noni, you want to say arrivederci?
Thanks everyone for listening in tonight. Thank you always for your support. All the listeners, the people who call in, thank you so much. Enjoyed the show. Can't wait till next week. Good night.
Good night, Queen.
Good night, everyone. Love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, share, tell your friends, tell everybody you know. And I'll see you next week. Arrivederci.
Michelle.
Good night, everyone. It was a pleasure. Same time, same place next week.
All righty. Love you all. Good night. Be safe out there. All right.
John.
Good night,
Mhm.
Lady G. Good night, Michelle. Good
Good
night,
night,
Queen.
Noni. Good night, Queen. Good night, Michelle. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Right.